Hello everyone, this is Priyanka from Codabears. Today we're going to start our lunch and learn sessions. This is going to be the first in a series of application studio sessions. And today we're going to be talking about the basics of the application studio. I'm going to be covering how to access the application studio, the maps, previews, history, and how to save layers. So let's get started with what is App Studio. For those of us who've been working on Classic for a long time, and the new Kinetic environment came out, App Studio was like a completely new thing, and we didn't know what to do. So App Studio is basically it's the design environment where users can configure their applications and processes. It's like a no low code or no code environment where you can do your customizations in. And App Studio is resilient to upgrades. That doesn't mean like it's completely foolproof, but you may have to still go back and update or verify your upgrade. And using App Studio, it allows you to save time and money because it's not completely like a development where somebody have to do the development for you. It's like this no low code or no code environment where you can sort of bring in widgets and try and do things instead of writing the whole code. How do we open App Studio? This little screenshot that I have here is from the order entry screen, or any screen that you go into. You have like this little overflow menu over here, and when you click on it, you see that towards the very bottom, you can see that there's this application studio. And when you click on it, it opens your App Studio for you. Or alternatively, when you're on the form, you can just press Control Alt D and it opens up the form for you. The other way would be in system management, you have Application Studio, and right there, like it has all the forms over there, and you can just type in which form you're trying to update, and it's going to come up. Once it comes up, you can just click on base and then start updating, or the layer name would come up and then you can click on that and start updating. Once you open your App Studio, the very first thing that you would want to do is either create a new layer or select a layer that is already there that you need to update. So creating a new layer is nothing but when you open any form, it gives you like this new layer kind of a link. And when you click on that, it opens this window which says like you can type in the layer name and some description and save it. Most commonly, I've seen sometimes it gives you an error while saving. That may be because this description is like a little limited. So if ever you see that you're trying to save the layer and it's giving you an error, just try to shorten your description and that should be good. Or if you already have an existing layer, you can do a change layer and then you can select which layer you're trying to update and just click on edit over there. But make sure that you are on a layer or you're trying to create a new layer before you do any changes. Then once inside, a screen like this opens up, and the very first thing that comes up is your application map. This application map is like it displays the hierarchy of an application in like a map like structure. You can use it to view and change the navigation of the application and connections within its levels, pages, and their details. So you can see how it has like the very first page that comes up is your grids. So then that is your first icon over here. And then once you go down, you can see that you have sales order, then you have the lines, you have details inside that, and all of this. So this map tells you how your whole form is set up with. The ones that are like highlighted in blue over here, those are the ones that you cannot edit. All the other white ones, you can just click on it and there's like a little pencil icon that comes up, and you can go inside that and edit it. Just like on the classic, we can add in any new fields, buttons, text boxes, and all that. Just like that, you can go on to edit over here, and then you can start putting in things. The ones on your left hand side over here, these are the most important ones because it contains all your map, your layouts, events, and etc. The second one over here is your layout. This layout designer, it allows you to design the layout of the whole app page, and here you can drag and drop the components from the toolbar menu, like just like I said, your text boxes, fields, buttons, anything. From the right hand side, you can just drag them and drop them over here. This layout gives you like once you click on this layout, you can select the exact page that you want to update, and you can go inside that, click on that, and you can start putting things in. Then the third one over here is your data rules. This is similar to what we had on our classic environment. Data rules, you can either create new ones or you can manage the existing ones. You need rules to define how the component functions within the application. Each rule can have various data conditions and one or more actions that activate when the condition is met. This is pretty much how we would have done it in Classic. You have rules, conditions, and actions. You can either disable a field, you can highlight a field, you can display some row that you want to either highlight it or turn it into red for a warning kind of a thing. So all of those can be set up in your data rules here. You have this little plus over here. You can click on it and you can start creating a new data rule, or you can click on any of the, I think you cannot edit them because they are the base Epicor rules that they've given, but you can always create your own data rule. And the next one is your events. This is probably like the most important one over here, because in App Studio everything is based off of the events that get generated. So anytime you're trying to do something, you have to find out the exact specific event that you wanted to get updated on. So you have some user defined actions here. Every one of these, like the components, has something like a button click and things like that. In your data, you can see that you have like the data bindings, the data views, all of those can be updated. And then you can also create your own new event. When you click on that plus over here, you can start putting in your own event. Like let's say when the PO number on the order field is changed, you want something to be triggered, you can set that up using your new event over here. And the next one is your data views. By default, every page has its own data views. Like for example, now I'm on this is from the order. So you would definitely have the order head, order detail, order releases, and all of those data views over here. But apart from then, you can also start creating your own data views. For example, let's say I want to get something from my customer table inside my order form over here. Then I can create a new data view that points to the customer data view and then pull in customer tables information inside over here. And then the last one over here is your history. This tells you when your form was either published or committed. If at all the published is not checked, this just means that you've committed it, but you've not yet published it, and it gives you the time, and you can put in some comments of what you're doing and things like that. This little play kind of an icon is your preview. Preview is nothing but when you put in, like, let's say I'm trying to put in some text boxes or some buttons and I want to see what it does. Preview does not really mean that the form is updated with your changes. It's just like a simple way of testing if your form is able to take in your changes and how it comes out of. Then beside that is your save. When you do a preview, it kind of auto saves. But if you're trying to do something and you want to manually save it, just click on this save all. Yeah, when you click on the save all, it kind of creates like a copy of whatever is the layer in. Like right now, I'm on kinetic testing, and once you click on the save all, kind of creates a new copy. And if you want to save it with that name or whatever name, you can save it like that. And commit is before your publish. It doesn't mean that it's publish is when your layer is actually ready to be used on your menu. Commit just really means that you're saving all your changes on this layer, and the next step after your commit would be your publish, where you would actually publish out your layer, and then you can start using them directly on your menu. Then over here, you also see that you have your open application. And open application is nothing but when you want to try to get in some other form over here and you want to update it on your App Studio, you can just give in the name. The most common example over here would be when I'm on the MES layer and I want to go into, let's say, the start production layer or the end activity layer or something like that. That's when you use your open application and you can type in whichever form you would want to go to.
We have a question. What is the difference between save all and commit? It sounded like they do the same action.
So when you do a save, let me go back to that slide here. So when you do a save all, you don't really have it in your history. You could be saving, but nothing comes up when you go back to see what you have saved or something like that. But when you do a commit, it kind of gives you a place where you can comment and you can put in things like, this is what I have done kind of a thing. So once you go back to your history, you have that over there. That's probably the main difference between commit and save. It's already auto saved when you do preview, but just do a commit so that you have some comments of what you're doing, kind of.
From Kelsey, can you give us a real life example on how we might use this? I'm
Um,
assuming she's just referring to Application Studio in general.
just like on classic environment, we've been doing a lot of customizations, right? Like we have the backend code and we do a lot of customizations. Now Kinetic has completely changed the way the UI of accessing the forms and everything. So like let's say I'm on the sales order entry form, then I would have to go into App Studio to make any change to the actual sales order entry form or the code form or anything like that. So App Studio is where you go to actually make any changes, even if it's like a simple adding in a new text box or a button or anything like that. You would have to use your App Studio to change any of the form that Epicor is now going to give us.
If I publish a layer without doing a commit, will it still show up on the history?
Yes, you don't have to really commit is probably like a new feature, I should say, because initial versions we did not have commit. It was directly published, but now there's this new feature for commit in the new versions. Even if you don't commit, I think it kind of when you do a publish, it kind of asks you like a comment box opens up, and then you can type in what you're trying to do over there.
As always, I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their day, and I hope we see you all back next week.
Thank you, everyone.